Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Oh no! Application error. Well, we can't have that. Well, we don't want that one either. You know what? We're just gonna have this crappy thing here for a little bit until it's fixed. Sorry. Maybe we'll switch it over. Oh, you know what? By the way, while I'm thinking about it, restream chat. Anyways. So, let's go and grab the links. Okay, so there. That's gonna be your Twitch. Right here, interest rates. And here's going to be YouTube. Copy link. Okay. Thank you, Microsoft, but I don't want to see that. Well, Bitcoin took a real dive, didn't it? That's interesting. Well, I thought that maybe they were going to get to 4,200 and then drop, but I guess whoever went long gave up on it. The futures, if I was any of those people here in the futures, I would be very unhappy, and there's still people to wash out potentially, so we might see some more. Over here in our traditional markets, ZN did move higher in the end. They came and revisited that area several times, but they never did quite come back to our 16 where I had an order sitting. Now we're a little bit higher. I mean, we did have auctions yesterday. ES kind of falling a little bit at the end, so it would make sense for us to be a little bit higher. Here at the open, a little bit of back and forth, but it looks like buyers have it for now. So that's interesting. And we're below the bull bear zone, so we could maybe see some more selling come back a little bit more. It depends on the E-mini. So what's happening in the E-mini right now is that company earnings are coming out. And so it's kind of like how much of that move down in December was actually justified, and now we're finding out. And I think in some cases it was justified, and in some cases it was not. From what I'm reading on CNBC. Learn how to trade a positive system and then go bother one up. Yeah. Well, as we've said before, to be good enough to really be worth bothering one up, you got to be really fucking good. You know, like the way I've been trading in January, you know that you're going to trade that well that month, then you can do it. That just means I should have been doing a combine, huh? Get funded. Yeah, we'll watch that later. So I'm reading this stuff about the small exchange. And I'm wondering... if Futures Trader 71 knows about this. What do you think? Where is his page? Yeah, let's look at his Twitter. Plans, bunch of stuff. Talking about his webinar. Oh, He did the webinar on Tuesday. I missed that. I'm gonna have to go and watch that today. Oh, I had just seen. Where'd it go? When did they announce this? The second. Okay. So I've got to go all the way back to the second. I don't actually see anything. Oh, and I need to check him on the Futures Radio show too. I totally forgot about that. Well, let's just take this link and tweet it to him and see if he responds. Tweet that to him and see if he responds. All right. All right. And what do we got going now? Now that I'm like paying attention, by the way, how are you guys doing here? We got everything. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Good morning. Good morning, YouTube. Oh, we got some people on Twitch too. Good morning, guys. Search and get channel recommendations on channels to rate or host using the new collaboration widget. Ooh. I'm gonna have to look at that later. And what are they talking about? They're talking about spreads. Yeah, you're a little bit more insulated from risk. Wondering. So when the open happened, the buyers did take the first tick or two. And now we're lower. Well, so one of the things that I'm seeing that is giving me a little bit of pause here is that the 5-year has really sold pretty aggressively here. Pretty aggressively here. Especially about like an hour ago. My corn spread is -1 tick after 8 hours. Ugh, kill me now. How long did you wait? How long did you wait in that trade yesterday, sir? That was. Oof. Not for me. Not for me. Well, they're selling, but there's an iceberg here. No, I don't think so. So we do have news, right? It's Thursday. I don't even have the squawk on, guys. I'm like awful today. It's okay. I'm zeroing in, like I'm focused now. Okay. So today is Thursday, so we got unemployment claims, and then we got some Canadian numbers. Okay. And unemployment claims is expected to be 226. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move this over here. Oh, perfect. Perfect.
That's initial 216,000, prior revised 233,000, continued in at 1.722 million.
So slightly better than expected.
1.75 million. Building permits month on month 2.6%, prior revised -4%. New housing price index for Canada flat read in line with estimates, and likewise for the year-on-year read.
Wow.
Flat read there.
Natural gas March-April calendar spread. That's crazy. Look at that. Here, I'll pull it over here for you guys in the future. That is a crazy move in a spread. Holy crap. That is not something that is normal to see. That is like once in a lifetime. Yeah. All right. Now there is 7K at 27. We do have 30-year auction today, right? One tick on natural gas is a cent. Holy shit. How much money would you make or lose? That is so insane. So insane. $1,500 ticks. $10. $15,000 for a one lot. Wow. Wow. Holy crap. That is just totally crazy. Totally crazy. Don't need that. The last time initial claims were here, the data-dependent Fed was going to hike 3 times in 2019, according to Zero Hedge. Oh, what was the last thing that Donald Trump tweeted? Oh, he tweeted 7 minutes ago. Crying Chuck told his favorite lie when he used his standard soundbite that I slammed the table and walked out of the room. He had a temper tantrum. Because I knew he would say that, and after Nancy said no to proper border security, I politely said bye-bye and left. No slamming. I mean, sounds like he went in there with the full intention to say, okay, we're going to have a border wall? Nope. Okay, come back when we have a border wall. Now I think you go through the cold period where like they're not actually talking. Okay, that big iceberg went off her and there's a decent amount of liquidity.
Snow Fed's barking does have Q&A, so we are waiting some further comments if he does make any.
What was this? Who's talking? I'm wondering, sometimes when we see those big icebergs, you'll see it go for at least 2 more ticks. It's a lot of absorption there.
It's Trump tweeting again, opposition party and the Dems know we must have strong border security, but don't want to give Trump another one of many wins.
Oh.
So Fez Barkin says trend core growth is only in the 1.9% range, saying he hears concerns partly driven by trade, politics, markets and margin pressure, says productivity slowdown is real, partly due to business underinvestment.
Well, I'm going to have to see if I can get filled there.
Growth can continue, also saying he expects growth to continue though at a somewhat slower pace. Again, as we said, it's essentially a repeat of his 4th January speech. We have also retweeted a link where you can listen in live to his comments.
Oh yes, let's look at the levels we got here. Okay. This one should be pretty tight. Oh, geez, they just stopped somebody out right away. Very interesting. Yeah. Yeah, the spreads are kind of... The way that you see them on DOMs is kind of weird. I like to see it on the chart because it gives you like the true number. Okay, so we had a pretty odd, let's call it odd, move where we went off for 27 and then they sold 26 half, and then we saw some robots stop out at 26. Now we ticked back up, not a ton. We ticked back up pretty easily, but there's not a ton selling 26 half. 990. I'm looking now to see, do buyers come in, because you know this could flip here. it may start looking attractive. That we might see another big iceberg at 26.5. But there's like hardly anybody buying here yet. I think that we would need to see the level 2 completely flip before you would really see anybody significant wanting to stick their necks out after that little stop run that other way. But at least in that case, our risk was set correctly. So I'm happy about that. Okay, so yeah. It got close. A couple more people bought into it. Nope. Okay, so 24.89 to push it. And they hit back with 14.30.43. This one is exciting to me. I'm super exciting. I know it doesn't seem like it, but that was okay. Like they made it go off for twice, but they bought it back up. That's not necessarily a good sign for my position. Really, we need to start seeing more people buying 27. Yeah, there's still selling 26.5. And it kind of looks to me like the guy sitting on the bid is perfectly okay with that. Because they're still iceberging, and it's been very low. I mean, they're not putting more than 1,500 on the bid. Yeah. Okay. The E-mini is moving down a little bit. You may be in a place where it starts to see some support, though. That 26.5 has not gotten over 2 yet. 2,000. If it does tick up, we need to pay particular attention. Oh my gosh. So now 3K. So now they've absorbed almost 6 to 7K at 26.5 as well, and they absorbed a lot at 27.
Again here on border security.
Donald Trump's tweeting again. But there's 44.50 at 27.5. If we tick up, okay, so now they've bid more than 2,000. If we tick up, we want to see if they pull, and also the 15.5. So there's a decent amount at 15.5 in ZF. And that they're still pulling, like maybe they think they can get more, or maybe they don't actually want it, or I don't know. Donald Trump tweeting again. Great support for border security and the wall. Fox and Friends even greater than anyone would know. President's supporters do not want him to cave. At Steve Dosey, I won't. So I was looking at something the other day. Last night, really. This is getting tense. 4,000 now. Okay, they pulled. Okay. So there was 44, now there's 37. 15 half has pulled about 1,000 off. Okay. Now it's to 17, so 12, yeah. So almost everything at 15 half is pulled. I think that's really good for our position. 1864 to clear is okay. Now we'll see if the offers at 27.5 really pull. Okay, they were able to make 15.5 go bid with almost nothing. Whew. That one was really intense, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. Okay, 32 to bid 27.5. Okay, so anyways, so one of the things that I saw the other day was that when Obama was president, there was a bill of some sort, and it included like $42 billion for border security. $42 billion. And I believe that it included like some amnesty kind of stuff in there, and so Republicans weren't hot on it. Now 2 ticks down, pretty easy. I don't know. The 5-year is still right there at 15.5. We could go back and forth here a little bit. I think I'm just gonna have to sweat it out. Anyways, but they included $42 billion for the wall. Can you believe that? So the contention that the president makes is that Democrats are only saying no to spite him, and that $5 billion is not a lot, and that it's something that they've agreed to in the past. And it just kind of got me thinking, I believe that the Democrats may be making a really grave tactical error here. Because I think that they falsely believe that the shutdown is a zero-sum game. What I mean by that is they think that if Donald Trump loses the shutdown, that they win the shutdown. Because if Donald Trump loses, then Democrats win. And I'm not so sure that that's the case. I think you have to consider Donald Trump right now is almost like a force of nature, like gravity, right? Like we know what he's going to do, and there's almost nothing you could possibly do to change what he's going to do or to change his mind. He's not going to do anything until he gets some money for the border. And so, since we know what Donald Trump is going to do, when we're looking at a system, the unknown variable in this system is really the Democrats. The Democrats are the ones that are being tested here to see when they're faced with an unmovable opponent, how do they handle it? And I think that the Democrats run the risk of taking on just as much blame. Well, maybe not just as much blame, but if we know what Donald Trump is going to do, then really the ones that get hurt politically from it ends up being the Democrats, because the hurt from Donald Trump is already baked in at that point. Does that make sense? So that was my thought yesterday. Another thing we got going on, since I'm just yapping here. Names are cool because finance is boring. They're talking about the spreads like the FYT. They call it the fight spread. Yeah, it's a cool name because it's a boring spread. I gotta say that it's deceptive, right? Like, you look at something and you're like, it doesn't move very much. Doesn't seem like there's really a whole lot going in there. But once you really understand it, and I don't think that I understand spreads enough to really know what's going on, but I think you find once you really understand it, there's a lot going on. What's happening here in the ZN right now is really something else, I think. It really looks like there's some good buying here at this location. Cumulative delta is starting to go long and move up. But it's just not moving. And in fact, they tick down there. Yeah.
Block sell.
Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. So when you get a block sell price like that, there tends to be a decent amount of trade will happen at that price. It went bid again.
So just to clarify, because we've had a few questions coming in about the exact timings of Fed Chair Powell, because he's of course speaking later today. Just to clarify here, he's speaking at the Economic Club of Washington. The Federal Reserve website says a live link to that discussion goes up at 1700 GMT and 12:45 local time, so 17:45 GMT is when the program will begin. There is no initial text to be released, but there will be Q&A with the moderator, hence we should see the start of that Q&A at 17:45 GMT. But no text to be released.
I don't know. They were able to get this to go bid above 27 and build some liquidity at 27 really easily. They're getting 2K building at 27 very easily as well, but when they sell into it, the liquidity pulls. 15.5 has not gone bid quite yet, and that would be kind of one of the keys. Now that you've had a block sell here, if they are able to get it to go back up, that there's indication that there is somebody that wants it to go down that is trying to dig in here, and so if we're able to get it to go up, we could get a really good trade out of it, especially since the E-mini is selling. But somebody was very aggressively selling it down here, so they're not just going to give up. So it's still very tense. But normally a battle like this doesn't last as long. And really, we've been sitting in this now for 20 minutes almost. This has been going for basically the whole opening range. This is really something else. So I think the risk reward in this case, because we have such a good place to be able to set our stop, the risk reward long is really good. I mean, we haven't seen an iceberg on the offer. We haven't seen a spot that they, I think they should be able to trade 28. I think they should be able to clear 28. I don't think that the iceberg is going to come in. He's gonna sell it with market orders, is what's been happening. So I guess what I'm saying is the probability is really uncertain right now. There's two guys, big guys fighting here, and I don't really know which one is going to win, but I see better risk reward long, so I'm going to stay long. $255 if they get there. I don't know. I don't know why the buyer's not taking it further. That's the thing that just seems so odd to me right now. Is like they're willing to buy so much at 26.5. And even a little bit at 27, but then they're not willing to just hold it and keep it from there. And the seller is like, when he gets his chance, he's just like pedal to the metal. But then the buyer pushes back and he loses, And so just based on that, it feels to me that the buyer is stronger and that the seller is more anxious. But you know, on the other hand, you get these situations where you know, you got some buyers and they're sitting in the long for 30-40 minutes. It's been 20 minutes for me. Eventually they give up, so this is very curious action. Haven't seen a fight like this in a while. Like since really before the large market volatility came in October. So nobody's been willing to really fight for and hold a spot since October. And now here at the 26.5, a buyer is willing to do it. It's a very significant change that I think we need to keep in the back of our mind in the coming days and weeks, I think. I'm just going to put that there was a 7K here. That's what started it. Okay. So now they're selling off this, and they've sold a decent number of contracts there. So there's still a lot of iceberging at 27. The way the orders flood in there too. It holds, huh?
In energy news, European crude and oil product stocks at 1.08 billion barrels in December, up spot 4% from November, down spot 1% year on year.
Like that to me looks like a lot of
stocks at 470.34 million barrels in December, up spot 5% from November, and up 2.1% year on year.
A lot of robots and retail thinking, oh, it's about to tick up and marketing in, and then it not going. Yeah, look at that. Quite a bit. Should be careful. I'm not seeing like... Well, there's been a lot of big orders around here. Okay. 27.5 pulls. There's a lot of liquidity sitting at 16 in ZF. Okay. I mean, if they can get 27.5 to go bid again, easy. Let's see. I mean, it's pulled a lot. But I don't think that they'd quite be ready to go because the 5 years not really. 5 years not really look positioned to do it. Also, the spread is actually pointed down. So really, we need to pay close attention to the 30-year here. 30-year has been making a decent push. Okay, there was a flip in the level 2 again. Donald Trump also tweeted, just make America great again. Yeah, it went off again. That one does not look like anybody holding it. Let's see if they iceberg on when they try and buy it up again. Or if the seller tries to push it here at 26.5 again. Ah. Yeah. Well, that was no good. That was no good. Should not be that easy for them to go offer at 26.5. Should not be that easy. So I think whatever caused all of the buying, maybe they're done and out. Yep. Well. Yeah, those ones kind of suck. And the ZB really came down fast. Probably a pretty good chance now that they try and go for the lows of the day. Because the E-mini is buying here. Now after that, I kind of see buying again. It was kind of curious because once they went down to stop us out, and then that was like it.
It's an energy news. Mexico's President Obrador saying the Pemex's oil refinery is shut down or producing little. That's the Minatitlán oil refinery.
So I'm a little suspicious that they came down and stopped things out, and 133 went to 25.5, and now they're going bid again. But it is a little bit like it's kind of hard to take it long again, given what just happened, especially at 26.5 where the block sell was. And if I were to get in, it would almost be like a double down trade.
Consequences of the government shutdown as pretty small.
All right. I'm definitely getting a sense that like things have changed. Here they are again, so easy to trade up to 27 and then it just sits here.
Parkin says uncertainty more challenging for the US economy.
I also don't like this spot. Let's see if we can jiggle things around here. The way that the liquidity on the DOM looks seems like
headed to a stable budget deficit.
Still feels to me like that the buyer is in control. He let it come down. Then when we came back up, they're still holding it at that price. I guess not. I guess not. Well, now we just miss it.
As Bunkin saying favors pro-growth measures to help reduce the deficit.
See, problem now is if this is really picking up, you're not going to get filled on limit. So you can no longer get good risk reward out of this. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, that's funny. Bunch of people were like, when it didn't work, a bunch of people stopped watching. Well, it's not exactly trending up, is it? Even after that tick up seems like a pretty strong tick up, and it's still not quite going. Although it does feel like that the momentum is much more on the buyer side. But maybe we do wiggle around here a little bit. Oh, there they go. They took a bid. Oh, this 28 was the open price. Sometimes it just doesn't work, you know? Yeah, I don't know. That's a really. So in ZB, there are now all of these huge offers above us. See how
Barkin saying the direct impact of tariffs right now is not that significant.
when we ticked up 27.5, how the liquidity in all the products changed, and now there's these big offers above us. Okay. Well, that'd be rude if some.
Barkin, however, saying the tariffs does create uncertainty for both US and Chinese economies, which worries him.
Oh. Oh. Had to shift a great deal of volume from ES over to Bun. Interestingly. Sorry, I know I can be a dick sometimes, but like, I'm oh, you know what? Sorry, I've lost my thing. How is your P&L trading? Oh, sorry. Sorry, I didn't see that. I didn't have it on. But obviously I'm not doing well today, but I've been doing really good since the half of it. Now, I feel like, listen, here are two things that I kind of notice about myself.
As we said, Barkin saying
Hold
hard
on.
to plan supply chains amid the trade uncertainty.
Okay, first of all, I believe that I am unusually stubborn. Like I really have no problem sticking into a trade that I think is right and holding on to it as long as that thesis holds, you know? The second thing is that I'm a little too serious. So like I feel like because I'm on the Adderall, I think it kind of like suppresses your limbic system and you're not as sensitive to other people's emotions. And so all the time people will say a joke to me. Like I was talking to somebody the other day, they were doing this little prank on people online. Guys would message them and then she would ask them for $100. And I was like, no, I know it's funny, but you shouldn't do that because when you talk to them, the algorithm sees that you're talking to them, and so it's more likely to show you.
Business investment grew very strongly in the
Wrong.
first 2 quarters of last year.
So the algorithm is more likely to suggest you to their friends, and so you're more likely to actually get more requests like that. And she made a joke back like, well, yeah, but what if I get $100? and she was just joking, but like to me it was like serious. I was like, well, yeah, but if you do get $100, I was like, do you really want to make that $100? Because that person's probably not well, you know. But it is just an example of where I feel like I'm a little bit too serious. And then the third thing is that when I see something that's not right to me, like somebody says that they got filled at 25.5 and they didn't. Now he wasn't claiming that, but I thought he did. So this is an example of where I read too much into something, took it too seriously, and then I see it and I think it's wrong. I cannot handle it. It's like I have to say no, that's not right. And I think that that's just like I think that's just me kind of becoming conditioned from arguing too much on the internet, you know? But so, yeah, I feel like sometimes I can be a little bit of a dick. And we've had some cases here in chat, right, where people have come in that were assholes, and I was an asshole to them. Okay. And you know, maybe I'm in the wrong, but I feel like that's just the thing. Like my job is to like, the way that I look at this is like, this is a guided discussion, you know, and it's my job to guide the discussion, curate, and make sure that there's not nonsense going on. And so sometimes I'll be a little bit too much, but I think that I would rather err on, you know, the side of making sure that nobody's trying to take advantage of the people in the room. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's all. That's all. Okay, I used to chase volatility markets trading crude, natural gas, but now I trade bonds because they're very consistent. Oh, Spyrick said that ES became too much of a handle day in and day out at the clip it's been moving. Yes, it really is too much risk to take in ES. It's been a real headache. Even for us in Treasuries, because it's like we're moving so much off of what bonds are doing that, yeah. I'm wondering. I don't see iceberging here. Yeah. That was a decent move down. I really felt like it was a real failure for them to not get above the open price. But then they came back down here to the bottom of the opening range, and they weren't willing to go down either. Maybe there was just two big guys and they wanted to get in positions, and they got their positions, and now they're happy. I don't know. Well, this might just take off without us. That was kind of weird. I can't explain what I just saw there because it was kind of only out of the corner of my eye, but I saw a really bizarre change in the level 2. Mm-hmm. Jeez. All of the buyers getting left behind. Okay, so what we saw was really tight battle, breakouts both ways, reversals both ways really fast, and a lot of pulling and forcing you to chase it when it goes. Probably going to break above the overnight high now. Well, I'm only trying to call out. Mm-mm-mm. Well, they did tick down a little bit there. I don't know. They're acting like they're going to flip down again. Right there at that open price again. Which would seem kind of weird to me. I mean, look, if somebody says something like, I got long at 25 half, that there's no way they were one of the first 133 in line. It's like, for a retail person, almost impossible. Almost impossible. So if somebody says that that's what they got, I'm going to be like, well, you're full of shit. Because there's no way. Like, if it's something objectively not true. Or the thing that we had last night where it was like, or yesterday morning rather, where we were talking about the that we tend to move up on auction days. Now they were calling us out on something. They're like, "Well, prove it." And I mean, we did prove it. I mean, I listed out why I thought that, at least. Okay, obviously, it's a little bit more nuanced than that because it's the trade like that. So many people are involved. Even if you have the edge, it can still be hard to trade. But it is true that we tend that after the auction that there tends to be buying. You know, sometimes people will say, well, it's not going to go up, or it is going to go up. And to me, that one is just like, okay, 50% of the people, or at least the orders that have gone through here, what wanted to buy, or 50% of them wanted to sell. So that's okay if you have that opinion. And I'm not going to come out and say you're wrong. But in that case, my contention is you should explain why you think that, rather than trying to go and say, oh, you need to get out of this trade, right? Because when you do that, then you're like messing with people's heads. You know what I mean? And you can tell. I can tell that the traders that I've met that I know are profitable, or let's not just say profitable, but that I know are good traders and they've shown me impressive results. They have a different way of telling you that you're wrong. You know what I mean? They'll say, I don't really think that buying here. I don't like the risk reward here, so I'm not going to buy. You know, they explain it as like, well, this is what I'm doing, and this is why. Instead of trying to say you should do this, right? You should never tell another trader what they should do. That they don't react well to it, and especially because the mentality is very much that like 90% of people are going to be wrong anyways. Then somebody else telling you to do something in a certain way is just kind of like a signal that you shouldn't do it. You know what I mean? But I don't think that we're unfriendly. Just don't say shit. But they've always come in and helped people and have been friendly and chatty, so I don't feel like that's the case. They're really struggling there at 28, even though based on the liquidity, I think that they should be able to get more. The E-mini is having a pretty well, that was an interesting sweep downwards in equities. You can say the movement in ES is not quite as, like, I didn't notice it right when it opened like we normally do. Okay. See, we're moving up because there appears to be some weight in equities right now. They kind of want to move down. Okay, so that may have been the buy. I don't know. This is all very interesting.
Just Trump saying here that his trip to Davos is still on, but if shutdown continues, he will not go.
Oh, that's too bad. I mean, they've got targets on the upside. I think that this could continue to move up.
Tremendous success with China on trade.
Yay! All the Twitter robots celebrate. Did he just tweet that? I'm not even actually getting them. Must be talking to reporters or something like that. I ran a Skype chat with 5 guys from around the lower 488 and 1 in Berlin, and we all went separate ways over the years, unfortunately. Way to vet if you're dealing with the new traders, to ask them to flash their size on outside book in a product they trade. It cut to the chase in a way so that we would know what capacity someone was at. We had a problem with new guys invited in the chat claiming they were a trader, and they were not. Yeah. Still down there. I'm wondering, I might, well, so I'm just kind of thinking time frame now, and I'm thinking, okay, so maybe after 7:45, then some of this stalemate in treasuries may end, but there's also always like that 8 to 8:30 area. Huh. Huh. Oh. Did you guys see that? 350. Nice. Wow. I'm impressed.
Trump saying here if there's no deal on border wall would be very surprising if he did not declare a national emergency.
Yeah, he's flashed 350 down at 25. Did you see him put it on and then pull it off? It went from like 45.66 to like 49. And then it went back off. That was pretty cool. I'm impressed, Spyric. I don't know, guys. I feel really torn right now because I wanted to be long down at 26.5 so badly. And then it was messing around with me a lot. So I was like, well, I need to just make sure that I get a good price because I don't want to get stopped out again. So I missed it. So now we're up here. And it's pretty thick at 28.5. But, so now I'm like, so are they going to go more? Like, is the train taking off and maybe they're giving you another chance to go and they're not doing it, But I just don't think that I can buy here. Especially since they really can't get over the top. Yeah. Okay. I guess the market maker who is probably watching, I mean, at this point, it's just like whenever I say something, he's like, okay, Seth, if you're not going to buy it, then I guess I'll just start ticking it up now. No, it's the E-mini came down. That's what's pushing them. But yeah. Well, putting yourself out is hard. It changes your emotions. It changes your emotions a little bit. But you know what? I feel like that the streaming helps, at least for me, the streaming helps a little bit. Like, I think that I'm a little bit more of a reward-based, reward-seeking kind of brain type. So to me, obviously the best thing to get me focused is to like give me a tick. You know, like when we were down there at 27 and I got a tick up, I was focused, you know. I was like, I think this is good. But another way is just kind of like the that social praise, and if somebody's talking to me in chat and maybe they like the trade or maybe they don't, but I feel like that gives me a little bit more energy, you know, to stay focused. But oh, thank you. Oh. Yeah, so it sounds like Cyprick came from one of my videos. So which video was it that he found? Oh, thanks. You have a good demeanor. I try hard. Listen, I really try hard. Oh man, I bet you it was the. Oh. Oh, okay. Is this the guy from the Facebook group? Oh, okay. He found the chat first. Never mind.
Just in the US Chamber of Commerce here, estimating growth at 2.6%.
Okay. Well, now I'm looking at the volume profile, and it's like, it probably could, we probably could get 30.5. There is a little jump up there, of course, but now I'm kind of like, I don't know what to do. And I think that there's a chance that we don't stay here very long. I don't know. But there was so much bought at 27, you know? It's kind of like, I'm not sure what to do now because I just feel like it's too late. It's tough. Yeah, the yen has been doing good. Well, there's a few trading into 31. I wonder. So the E-mini has been bearish. Is this going to turn into a total, total bear disaster of a day again? Well, I need to just watch for an indication that somebody's really going to take it off here. The 5-year is really selling. What we got here, is that John? Open up that bigger pillow for me. It's not actually giving any long signals. In fact, the trend is actually up to a point where it may start giving short signals. Adrian got spooked out of the long trade too. I'm wondering if maybe when we were down there, that guy wanted to buy the whole time, like he was buying the whole time, but he just wanted more. He needed more, and that's why he kind of let it fall back down stop us out a few times and stuff like that. Because he just wasn't ready to go yet. That was really the case, though. Why did he start with the market? The big iceberg. You know, like right from the beginning, let everybody know that that's what you're doing. Then it's not the way to do it. I don't know. Seemed a little. The whole thing was a little weird. I've definitely seen it behave that way before, I guess, but it's just weird from like the recent past. It's weird. Okay. Perfect. And there was a big iceberg there behind it, 30.5, and they're still holding a decent offer too. I like that. And get rid of that. I don't know if we come down here if it's actually going to go all the way down to that, but it's worth leaving that there and then getting out manually.
UK Business Minister here saying the government has and will work to continue to work closely with business to ensure that it can succeed long into the future.
Like the E-mini has definitely been selling, but it's not crazy. Oh, that's a good downtick. Reasonably good. 29.5 isn't just straight up pulling, unfortunately.
Richmond Fed President Thomas Barkin here saying government shutdown has indirect impact on business confidence.
Sure. Anyways, I mean, they're selling it, but it's not like it was in December, you know? Or October. That was like, some of those sells were just like, when they were happening, they felt like such nonsense. You know what I mean? Like, what is going on here? This doesn't
Barkin
seem
says the
right.
longer the government shutdown continues, the more you are likely to impact confidence.
This one is kind of like, yeah, we're going to sell a little bit. There's some reason to be concerned. But it's not as strong. And so maybe we have, you know, we can make a little recovery here, and bears can make, bulls can make a run. Maybe they make a new high for the regular session. Maybe they don't. And there's some liquidity there. That's interesting.
Barkin says he's in favour of normalising interest rates at the right pace and right time.
Okay. A few went through there. Maybe a few pulled. That's a good downtick. Some immediate pressure on that one. But that means that we've got to be careful here, especially since they're not necessarily pulling. Okay, they did pull. That 800 pulled. You mean you did have a bubble?
Barkin says, I do not believe we are at a neutral yet in terms of rates, but we're near. Just to repeat that one, then Barkin says, I do not believe we are at neutral yet in terms of rates, but we are near. Barkin cited economic uncertainty when asked if now is the time to pursue further rate increases.
Yes, it's really moving. Okay, so that time when the
economy will tell us whether the time is right to go back to neutral and depends on data.
So, I don't like that there's a big iceberg here. Don't like, but the way that the E-mini is going, and the way that the offers were going, it's just, you gotta be careful with that one because the pressure might have been there so that they can get out at 29, you know? Well, 57 is quite a bit. Okay, they're willing to take 28.5 too. Well, as long as the E-mini keeps trading up like this. Wow. It's super interesting. You get these really fast moves like they're selling pretty strong. You get some sort of a long signal or some indication that maybe we're going to go up. And then when they buy, it's like, ooh boy, like, get gone. Just layered into the bund, short on cumulative delta differential from peak. Made this earlier. This one is negative 35. I'm really interested in the bund around 45 differential when comparing with us. Some good thick sizing also traded up there, and yen could not pierce through 93.12. Okay, that's interesting. All right, there was an iceberg there at 29. They have not pierced much past the iceberg, so we gotta keep Has it come back a lot? There you go. And I think what you might be seeing here now is some flattening. On the move down, it did flatten a little bit. And if they're taking it short in ZF, like I think this is looks good for maybe some more. The E-mini took a little pause there, and now they're moving back up, maybe to get a new swing high. Hasn't flipped yet. Okay. Not quite. So this is an interesting where they took it at 27.5, and then now they're backing off of it already. Because ES is not yet pierced that swing high. Okay, so some orders showing up there. Ooh. I don't know. The E-mini doesn't look done to me, but they're being awfully slow about it, aren't they? I'd say that was such a significant buy down there. I'd be very surprised if the E-mini didn't go up for more. It is a big delta differential. So that's interesting. So Cypric is trading off of deltas, essentially. But I don't know if he's watching a DOM or not. Kind of being flaky here. Okay. 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 I think that is I wow. Okay. So I have an answer for you here, Adrian. I'm going to type it though. Um yeah, so what I was telling him was cumulative delta in treasuries is not quite as effective of a tool as it is in the E-mini from my observation, and I think the reason that is that you have a few participants, maybe a couple dozen participants that are going to be like big banks or funds, sovereign funds that are able to trade so much size that if you see, like this morning, we've seen a change from 7 to 13, right? And you could have a trader out there that's going to trade 30, 40,000 contracts, right? And if he all of a sudden decides that he needs to buy, he can just completely wipe that cumulative delta out and it doesn't even matter. Whereas in the E-mini, I think what you got is you still have some participants that have big size, but there's so many of them. There's just so many of them. And so you can really watch the cumulative delta to see that there's participants that you can see that it was like somebody went short, they came out, somebody went long or took a profit, maybe somebody went long here. So now you have all of this. When we got to here, then you kind of knew, oh, okay, we have all of this that has to get out now. And sure enough, so it goes twice as much. That's my theory. I'm kind of tempted to go for one more, but I don't see it. But I'm super pleased with what just happened there. Oh my gosh, guys. I don't even have the trade up. Oh, what's been going on? Oh, it's the Super Heart Foundation spamming chat again. Mm-hmm. What does the application error mean? I'm sorry, guys. For some reason, I closed the chat down because I was web browsing Twitter and then I didn't bring it back up. The application error, that's normally where the chat is. Let's just try here really quickly. This browser source, properties. Okay. Nope. Yeah, it's just broken. At some point, I'm going to switch it over to this Restream one, but right now it's kind of messed up. Yeah. So sorry about that. This guy claims that he just bought $1 billion in Bitcoin. You're full of shit. That would probably move Bitcoin price, right? But we moved down big time in crypto today, last night, didn't we? That's quite something else. I'm way impressed. I thought that Bitcoin might get to 42. It seemed like they were going, and then they were kind of losing steam. And it was like, I guess whoever got long just said, okay, they're not going to give me any more, and he gives up. And that's what I keep seeing is I'll see like a big move up and a big move down, indicating to me that it was like the same person. He bought and he gave it up. I still think that Bitcoin is going to go to 2,000. It's just too dead. Like I'm not seeing new investors come in, and but I still see old investors trying to do stuff, and so that's kind of why I feel like they're not done. And then of course the indicator says that we're going to go much lower, so whatever. He says just assumptions. I don't believe you. He says that there's proof of purchase on our channel, but I don't see that. I'm not going to go to his channel and look, rather, is what I mean, because honestly, who goes and buys $1 billion Bitcoin? $1 billion in Bitcoin. Is that what it is? 1,000 million, $1 billion in Bitcoin. Okay, you could be funding the wall, bruh. You could go fund the wall for us. I'm unsubbing by good riddance. If you bought 1 billion today, you could be funding. Go sell your bitcoins and fund the wall. That would be a good use of your money right now, because Bitcoin's gonna go lower. It is. So save some money, give it to the wall. But honestly, $5 billion, it's a fucking lot. And somebody with $5 billion doesn't come onto Seth's YouTube channel and tell everybody about it. They don't. You know what I mean? It's funny. I appreciate that this idiot... I know, I'm trying to be appreciative and then insulting him at the same time, but I appreciate that this idiot found my channel and was interested enough in it to do something like that. But he is there's no way that he's telling the truth. If he is telling the truth, he's committing what is the word? I don't want to say it's like breaking the law. It's like you would get fined for doing this. 100%. God already bless you. Well, thank you very much. You know what? I feel like I've been really lucky the past 2 or 3 months. I was really starting to get discouraged there in August. But I've been doing well lately, and I'm happy about it. And the future is looking a little bit more positive here. So I hope that it can just keep it. I know that the market is going to change, and I just hope that when it does, I can figure that out, and then I don't run into the same problem that I did in March, But I think that my way of trading is a lot more balanced now and flexible. So Oh,
Just heads
this
up,
was
under 10 minutes
Cypric
now
saying
until the
here.
bottom of the hour, and the weekly EIA natural gas change for the week of the 4th of January. Looking for a draw of 76 BCF against a prior draw of 20 BCF. The range 115 draw, or a draw of 115 to a draw of 50.
I felt like he was just using
Moody's
temporal
here saying
weakness in the book,
extended
drop
US
full
government
size at
shutdown would
market,
hurt
and
debt
his size
insurers.
to scare others to next
It
tick,
says the
and would
shutdown is
iceberg
credit
out, which
negative
is
for
not
US
something to
sovereign.
really work off of. That could be. Well. Mm-mm-mm. Well, hold on a second. Yeah, so ZN, ZB, ZF. Oh, I love your name. Were you using a different name earlier? So I don't know if I've ever spoken with you before, but you're acting like you know me. So, but he asked, "Are you trading your own money now?" And I will tell you, that was on SimStill. But the decision that I made was that when I start trading live again. Oh, you saw some of it in November. Okay, yeah. But when I start trading live, I'm not going to tell you guys. I've decided that I'm just going to, not be as public about that particular thing, and sometimes I will switch between them. So yeah. So I just kind of realized that it was like, whether or not I'm trading sim or not doesn't matter, because what I think is helpful to other people that are watching is just to see, here's a strategy that does work. Of course, you have to handle your own emotions, and that's a question of, is Seth a good trader? But for watching this, and if I have a good trade, that's and somebody's using that to learn from, it doesn't matter whether or not Seth is a good trader. What matters is that it was a good trade, and that there was a reasonable explanation behind how he did it, and that somebody else can look at that and learn something from it, I guess. Does that make sense? Maybe that's ends up being wrong, but we'll see. But yeah, I do plan on trading my live account from time to time soon, but I'm not going to tell people when I'm trading the live one and when I'm not, because you never know. Yeah, I find it super interesting here. Of course, we have traded a little bit into 26. It looks like we did clear 26 at one point, but it's super interesting that I had that order at 26.5 and it did end up being a difficult price for them to move through. I found that for me, I took different trades when I was holding as long when in a gain. I was not
Block
holding
sell.
as long when in gain. Wow. Block sell. 42. And that is 2 ticks below the other sell. Interesting. I wonder if you had 2 guys. I'm thinking here, you have 2 guys. One wants to buy, one wants to sell. The buyer, he eventually wins because the E-mini moves down. So he wins and he gets his trade and he gets out at 30 and he's happy. And then the seller, maybe he broke even or got out, but then he waits for it to come back down and he gets out and now he's getting his. So it could be like, you know what I mean? Could have been like 2 big guys and they both have enough tolerance and patience that they both win, sort of a thing. I suppose that's possible, but that would require some other big people to be trading in there as well that ended up losing money, wouldn't it? It's not even quite 8:30. Well, that's interesting. But definitely, I'm gonna, so let's post this in the channel. You know that I'm doing well when I post the things, but I think I got really fucking lucky. You know what? I don't know.
It's under 3 minutes now into the EIA nat gas change, looking for a draw of 76 BCF.
Saying lucky is not the right thing. I did not make a mistake today. I did not. Is that fair to say? Well, actually, I did make a mistake because I should have been long at 27. I should have taken that one. I really should have taken that one. But, the one where I got stopped out at 27, I had my theory and I kept to my risk and I stuck to my guns and it was just a loser, and that just happens sometimes. And then I did it again at the top and that one turned out. I did not hit her. Okay. And then, this one I should have. I really wish that I had gotten it, but I didn't, and that just happens sometimes too. So I don't think that I necessarily made a mistake. It was just kind of an unfortunate set of circumstances and choices. But the fact that I was able to catch such a good trade like that and everything, like that it happens, that happened, that is what I say is lucky. It was like, that was a good move that I happened to be in. You know what I mean? But I like the way that things work. Yeah. Okay, so I am going to post my cryptocurrency notes. So for those of you guys that are maybe new, I have a Patreon and I post a Bitcoin valuation indicator that has made me some good money. Predicted the top. A couple of people told me that they saved like tens of thousands of dollars because they sold because of my indicator. So it's an edge that can make you money. So I recommend you check it out. I post it every day, and if you're a subscriber, you get to see it like that day, and then a couple days later, the public gets to see it like after the information is probably not as useful, so that you can look and actually see for yourself that like it really works. Yeah. So I'm going to go post those. If you guys have any questions or comments, like, now is the time to put them in, because I will come back and answer those after I'm done typing.
Ten seconds. That's a draw there of 91 BCF. That's the EIA natural gas there coming in at a draw of 91 BCF. The Salt Dome Cavin coming in at a build of 6 BCF.
Okay, Cypric. I've seen it on YouTube at one point. I got a bit set in my ways. I execute on TTX Pro with Advantage Book Trader Investor RT. Yeah, and was there anything here in Restream? Oh, who are you using for your data feed? I'm using Rhythmic. Yes. Oh, Mike Salisbury took John Grady's class. So you took the live trading class? That's great. I really like him. Anytime after a while. I'm just saying, like, that's $1 billion. That's like 1/5 of the wall. That's why I think you're full of it. But yeah, I really, anytime that he is on like futures.io, I watch. I've emailed him tons of times and he always responds back like the next day. It's just he's a great guy. So, and that is totally where I learned how to trade. So, and one of the reasons that I trade ZN was because he told me to. I was like, I've been trading ZB, but I'm kind of having some trouble. What do you think? He's like, trade ZN. So I traded ZN, and I started doing better. Once that stops working back to T-Plex. Natty gas is not wild enough. You need penny stocks. Right. I mean, if I had the money, listen, if I had a large enough account, I would have no problem messing around in some of those more volatile products. But I think it would take me a long time to figure out what places are actually safe for me to trade and which ones aren't. Okay, posted my notes. Yeah, sorry if I'm not like, I feel like I haven't been like super responsive today because I keep minimizing the window. So I'm sorry if you guys asked a question and I didn't respond right away. I think that's kind of frustrating, but I hope nobody was like, oh, I asked a question, you didn't answer it. I guess I'm going to go now. But you guys have been great. Oh, and we're getting lots of we kind of go in cycles, but I feel like things are kind of picking up again, and like we're getting a lot of good discussion and everything. So I'm really happy about that. I do need to join the Degenerate Gambler Club for sure at some point, but we'll see. Anyways, it is time for me to get going. So another good day. I'm like, if I just refresh this really quick, I keep getting lucky. I feel like I keep getting lucky because anytime I get a loss and I think, oh, maybe I'm going to end the day down, and then something amazing will happen and I'll catch a great trade. And this keeps happening. I don't know why. But my performance is not normal right now. Anyways, okay, so I will catch you guys